We pay attention to what we pay for. Isn't that how it goes? And the flip side of that is that we pay for what we pay attention to. This is the attention economy that we're in, that attention is the new economy. That's what they say. And it's the new oil, and it's being harvested all the time. Your attention, my attention is being harvested as we get fed into being the products of a system that is designed like a matrix to keep us cogs in the wheel. So before I go down the rabbit hole of describing the dystopia, I just want to celebrate that you're here, and we're talking about what we pay attention to and how to shift the focus. One of my favorite teachers, Myron Golden, has this beautiful metaphor for how to shift attention. And he talks about it like when you're framing up a camera and you're trying to take a picture of something. And in the old days, we had those little dials on real cameras, but on a digital, you can just play with it and it'll shift the focus of what's in the frame. So that's the metaphor, because sometimes you're holding your lens a certain way and you're always focused on one thing. And you get into a reality tunnel of just seeing it that way. And yet there's all this other stuff in the frame. There's all this other stuff going on. Like you could look over there and find the birds in the trees, or you can see the shape of the clouds. Or so Myron's metaphor is simply like, if you want to change your life, just shift your focus. Just open your aperture and take the time to slow down. Everything is trying to tell you to rush and go faster, but the real magic happens when we slow down in order to speed up. If you're seeing this live, smash on the hearts and let me know you're there. I'm here to talk about slowing down and remind you what you have as assets that all of us have. We all have time, and maybe time is your greatest resource. Maybe time is our greatest resource. But I know in my nervous system, I will default into old patterns of feeling time scarcity. Like I'm just on a hamster wheel and I'm just going through the motions, and there's an ever-present sense of not enough, you know? And when you get into a rut, that's the way it seems. There's a not enough narrative. I started off talking about how whatever you pay attention to is what you pay for. And you pay for what you pay attention to. And what I'm scratching out here is that I am the story I tell myself about what I am. And you are the story you tell yourself about what you are. And so refocusing the lens is about dropping deeper into the truth of who you are and what you actually want. How often do you actually ask yourself, what do I want? This is my favorite part of the work I do as a coach, is slow down with people and ask them what they want. And I call it the $1 million question. I ask it to the people I work with and serve every week. And it's honestly can be one of the hardest questions for many of us to answer, honestly. Here's why. Most of us are hardwired to think about the negative and to search for problems to solve. So most of us, myself included, if you ask, what do you really want? We'll default to giving you a list of 10 things we know we don't want. I've seen it so many times. What do you really want? Well, I don't want this, and I don't want that. I don't want the stress, and I don't want the struggle, and all these things, right? But that's not the answer to the question. The question is, what do you really want? And that's about cleaning your aperture or refocusing your lens so that you can soften your gaze on the problems and the negative and just listen to your heart. and give yourself permission to want what you want. That's the wonder of the heart. It's childlike. It's even biblical, like that idea of becoming childlike in order to enter the kingdom. You listening to your heart is a childlike exercise, but it's what keeps us alive and in joy and in that connection with wonder. But when you give yourself permission to go there and want what you want, the heart wants what it wants. It doesn't need an explanation. It's just the adult self who tries to justify it and say, well, you know, this is the reason why this is worth doing. But when you drop down here, you just want what you want. You want to stop and smell the roses. You want to enjoy what you have. So you have time, you have money, you have energy, and you have the power to choose your own commitment. You have freedom. You have freedom to choose what you're prioritizing. And that commitment is everything. If you get really into it, who you are as an identity is made up of two things. It's made up of what you're most committed to and your standards, like your standards for yourself. So one of my most favorite things about coaching and working with people is to challenge them on their commitments, their reality habit patterns of the way they're operating, and invite them into a deeper commitment to raise their standards around what they'll tolerate in their life and what they won't tolerate, what they'll say yes to and what they'll say no to, and really drop in to that clarity. And then that clarity collapses time. So you may have seen me come on here, drop some videos. I'm live to talk about the SoulForce coaching school that I've started and then I'm building, and that is for people who want to get into coaching and want mentorship to grow, start or grow their own coaching business. And so this is for a man or a woman who has always wanted to get into this work of transformational leadership, of serving people at the deepest level, of being a leader and being a disruptor of all those old programs. So it could be for someone who's already a professional, because what I know inside of the coaching space is that it's also a great bolt-on business to an existing business. As if you already have a chiropractic practice, or maybe you're a lawyer, or maybe you're a acupuncturist, and you're limited by the upper limit problem of the dollars for hours trap in your business. Like, you can't charge anymore per hour because there's only so many hours, right? The time scarcity piece. There's only so many hours in the week. So coaching is a great way to bring transformation and bring leveraged elements into your business and really serve your clients, maybe your existing client base, at an even deeper level. Because if you're established in your work right now, you probably have a network of people who you already know, who already trust you and like you, and those people are the most immediate people you can help. So this is what this SoulForce coaching school is for. It's for the person who maybe is even invested in some coaching before, but launched a business that didn't quite get off the ground. I've made this program really accessible. because it's just a month-to-month renewal fee. And so if you want to come in and do work for 4 weeks, we have 2 calls a week, then that's all you need. If you want to stay for 4 more weeks, that's up to you. But there's a full curriculum around messaging, dialing in your message so you know who you serve, you know your movement, you know what transformation you're here to deliver, and you have your pricing strategy all dialed so you know what your offer is, and you create that offer, or you recalibrate your offer so that it serves in a way where you build a business that serves the life you want to live, not the other way around. Read that again. You're building a business that serves the life that you want to live, not the other way around. That's part of the magic of doing this work, is it's leveraged and there's unlimited upside. There's unlimited upside with what's possible when you start emitting your own frequency, emitting your own vibration, and communicating your gift. There's the difference between your gifts and talents and the calling. The calling knows your address. The calling is never going to go away. It'll always be there. But how much are you developing your gifts and talents? How much are you cultivating your ability to communicate, your ability to serve, your ability to lead, and your ability to see the big vision of somebody else's future that they can't see, or maybe they want help seeing it? Because what I know is that there's no such thing as a self-made man or a self-made woman. We are the average of the 5 people, the moving average of the 5 people we spend the most time with. So that's the magic lever of this commitment and self-investment, to build freedom in yourself and to help others find freedom in their identity. SoulForce Coaching School starts with identity, it starts with state, and it starts with your big vision and serving big vision to people in your life, in your world. So that's the real promise, is your gift and talent helping people create their vision, break up with the lies that are holding them back, and create real cash flow in the process. Real joyful cash flow with soul-aligned clients who you absolutely love spending time with and get to work with. That's what has been my journey with coaching, is just really just loving people and celebrating them, and sometimes challenging them and cross-checking them on where they need to sharpen, or where you know the truth is gonna serve them, even if it hurts. Because sometimes people will say they want something, but they don't show up, and you get to be their accountability partner, and you get to be their guide, and you get to companion them for that transformational time where whatever it is you're called to offer is happening. So I'm going to drop the link in the comments if you want to learn more about the SoulForce Coaching School, and there's also an application button in the link. Thanks for tuning in, and yeah, thanks for being in my ecosystem. Bye for now.